What could a World War II aircraft mechanic possibly have in common with today's most advanced AI? Well, the answer is this powerful, kind of hidden principle that connects the chaos of a wartime airfield to the challenge we all face of being seen online. It's the difference between being randomly noticed and being reliably found.
Okay, let's really dig into this because this one idea, it's the key to everything we're about to cover. Talent improvises, discipline repeats, AI trusts repetition. And look, this isn't just some clever phrase. It's basically a fundamental law for getting reliable results from any complex system, whether that system is a B-17 bomber or a search algorithm. To really get this, we've got to step back in time. We're going to see how a life-or-death crisis from over 80 years ago gives us the perfect blueprint for solving a very modern, very digital problem.
So picture this. The year is 1941. The place? Fort Sam Houston, Texas. The U.S. Army Air Corps is staring down the barrel of a world war, but they have this huge internal crisis that's threatening to ground their entire Air Force before it even gets off the ground.
Here was the problem. These aircraft were incredibly complex, right? And maintenance was everything. But the results they were getting were just dangerously unpredictable. You could have two identical planes worked on by two equally skilled mechanics, and one would fly perfectly while the other would just fail. Lives were being lost, and nobody could figure out why.
And then this guy, a colonel named William Gross, he starts digging through all the accident reports, and he has this massive breakthrough. He realized the problem wasn't a lack of talent. These mechanics were good. The problem was a total lack of a systematic methodology. Everybody was just kind of winging it, relying on their own personal gut feelings and experience.
And this led to Gross's solution, which was pretty radical for the time, the creation of what we now know as standard operating procedures, or SOPs. The whole idea was to completely eliminate individual interpretation. Every single task, every step, every tool, it was all going to be documented and followed the exact same way every single time.
Now, as you can probably imagine, the experienced mechanics, they hated this. They felt totally insulted. But Grote's response was just brutally logical. He said, "Your talent produces inconsistent results. Procedures produce reliable results. Lives depend on reliability, not brilliance." I mean, the point was crystal clear. This was about saving lives, not stroking egos.
And the results? They were absolutely staggering. Once these SOPs were mandated across the entire Air Corps, accident rates plummeted by 70%. 70%! It's just this incredible illustration of the power of a system. Discipline didn't just help a little, it completely changed the game.
So the lesson here was profound. On one side, you've got improvisation. It's totally dependent on talent, and it gives you all these variable outcomes. But on the other side, you have procedures. They're systematic, and they produce reliable outcomes. All of a sudden, competence wasn't some intuitive art form anymore. It became a repeatable science. Okay, so fascinating history lesson, right? But what in the world does any of this have to do with getting your business noticed by an AI today? Well, as it turns out, everything. We are facing the exact same problem that Colonel Gross was looking at back in 1941.
I mean, just look at this parallel. It's kind of spooky. So many businesses treat their online visibility like it's a creative service. They rely on talented people, they cross their fingers and hope their message resonates, and what do they get? Highly variable, totally unpredictable results. The alternative is to treat it like an engineering discipline, relying on systems to actually engineer how AI classifies you, which leads to reliable results.
Because here's the hard truth we all have to get our heads around. An AI is not an audience you can charm with a great story. It's a machine. It's executing a mechanical classification procedure. It's just checking boxes, looking for consistent signals and predictable patterns. That clever bio you wrote, that beautiful about page, the AI couldn't care less if it can't systematically classify it.
So if the problem is the same, well, the solution has to be too. We need a modern standard operating procedure for the digital age, and that's what we call visibility discipline.
Now, visibility discipline isn't just, a bunch of tips and tricks. It's a structured system. It means using repeatable methods to build an identity that an AI can consistently recognize and understand. The goal is simple: create predictable results no matter who is doing the work.
And this is what a modern SOP can actually look like. This framework, for instance, is called the Betweener OS. It's a series of documented procedures, just like those old mechanics manuals. It starts with an entity reality audit to see how you're defined right now. It moves through analyzing how AI sees you, and then it systematically engineers your message before you even think about publishing. Every step is designed to be repeatable and reliable, taking all the guesswork out of it.
So here's the bottom line.
We have to make a fundamental shift in our thinking. We have to stop acting like creative artists who are just hoping for a lucky break and start becoming disciplined engineers who build reliable systems. And you can start this like right now. First, just audit your current workflow. Where are you just making things up as you go? Second, document your very first SOP. Pick one critical task and write down the exact steps. And third, you have to test it. Can somebody else follow your procedure and get the exact same result? That is the true test of a system.
And that brings us to the final question, and it's really the most important one. I want you to take a hard look at how you approach being seen online. Is your visibility built on the shifting sands of individual talent, or is it built on the solid bedrock of discipline? Because the answer to that question, well, it's going to determine your future.